I'm really excited about the books tonight. I have 5 books to talk about tonight. And let's see. It says Facebook is a problem. Well, let me unload it, remove it, and then remove it. And then let me see if I can fix that while I'm at it here. So let's see. We'll try. See if it's adding in. So I've got 5 books to talk about today, and I'm really excited about them. One of them is different, very different. So I don't even know where to start. All right, here, I'll start with this one. This book is called Prehistoric Pets. And it is a really cool, I've got my mic a little bit in the way. Let me move over a little bit. This is by Dr. Dean Lomax. And I can't tell you how fun this book is. I spent a lot of time looking at this book. So again, these are all books that are out in Candlewick's catalog this year, and they sent me review copies. So the premise of the book is that it's going to show how our pets evolved, like where did they come from? So on the left, it will have a pet, like a common pet now, a guinea pig, for example, and then it will talk in general about how rodents have evolved. And then every single one opens up with this awesome flap. And so it's really cool. Like, look at this thing. I love it. And so we'll talk about every single one of them has this section, this fossil file about what the fossils look like. And it has the name of it, scientific name, and just information about them. Every single page is like that. So here's parakeet and the same thing, like where they came from, velociraptors, corn snakes, and then like where old ones look like ancient ones. Every page is like that. So here's the fish, and it's so cool. This is my favorite one. Isn't that awesome? These are really fun. So this book is all like that, and the illustrations are great. The information in it is great. I really loved it. Does any kid not like pets? I don't think so. The flap with the pop-up to me is just so cool and so cleverly done. I really like it. There's so much information on it that it actually takes quite a while if you want to read all of it, which I like that, because sometimes I want a book that can captivate a child for a long time. So if you have, and I feel like every gifted kid goes through a dinosaur phase. I was going to say, if you have a dinosaur lover, this is really an excellent book for them. So any budding paleontologists out there, Prehistoric Pets by Dr. Dean Lomax, great pick. Really liked it. All right, next. This one is the 3rd one in a series. So Interrupting Chicken. And this one is called Cookies for Breakfast. So this one is really cleverly done. I think this would be a really good bedtime book. It's by David Ezra Stein. And it's got his kind of characteristic illustrations, which are wonderful. And it's Interrupting Chicken really, really, really wants cookies for breakfast, but his dad, Papa Chicken, is not that interested. But it's so funny how he like wakes him up and tries to get cookies for breakfast. And then his dad says, I'm not going to give you cookies for breakfast, but I'll read you a story. So Interrupting Chicken goes and gets this book of nursery rhymes. And in it, what he's done, it like the standard nursery rhyme, diddle, diddle, dumpling, my son John went to bed, the stocking's on. So one thing that's cool is that there are some nursery rhymes in here too. So it's like the book is like a 2-for-1 special of nursery rhymes and this story. And then when you turn the page after you start reading the nursery rhyme, now what you have is that Interrupting Chicken has like edited the nursery rhyme and has put on here his own crayon writing and drawings of it, and he makes them rhyme. So like here it goes. There once was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many cookies, she gave me a few, right? And it's so funny. Like, why do you live in a shoe? Isn't it stinky? Not when I bake cookies. Like, it is so fun, and it goes through over and over multiple ones. And the like interrupting chicken, it's so clever. It's like, I heard the early bird gets the cookies. That's worm. Oh, well, I'd rather have a cookie. And it just the same thing, more nursery rhymes that then he edits. And at the end, the clever dad chicken says, well, you can't have cookies for breakfast, but you can have cake. And I guess you will know what kind of cake. I love this whole series. I love that it is a series, because a lot of times our gifted kids really love series of books. And so the fact that there's more than one, I feel like it's kind of like Skippy John Jones or Walter the Farting Dog. But I feel like sometimes series, like one book in the series is much stronger than the others. But with Interrupting Chicken, that's not the case. With Interrupting Chicken, they're all the same level of quality and they're all worth a read. So if you have a kid who's a fan of Interrupting Chicken, this is a must-have. If you've never read The Interrupting Chicken and you like books like Skippy John Jones or Walter the Farting Dog, I feel like it's kind of the same genre, then I think you'll like this. It's a great bedtime story. It's also a nice waking up story, which is an underserved book genre, right? Of books that are great to read first thing in the morning. And I think this is a great one for that. All right. Okay, so the next three, I love them all so much. Okay, let me do this one first. This one is a little bit different because I'm going to recommend a companion read for adults. So this book is called Ducks Overboard, and it's based on the true story of 28,000 rubber ducks that fell overboard. I'm trying to get to the picture of it. They were being shipped on a cargo ship, and they went overboard, and 28,000 ducks were let loose. And the book does a really good job of kind of telling a story within a story. So this larger overarching story of like plastic in the ocean and how it gets there and how we clean it up and why it's so dangerous and all of that. And so there's like this wonderful story of that. But then there's this cool story about these specific 28,000 ducks and where they ended up and how they like literally went all over the world and how some of them were found. In the back of the book, it has information on ocean currents, how stuff gets lost at sea, and how kids can help. And I just feel like that will really appeal to gifted learners. Gifted kids have early moral concern, so they will be more concerned about stuff in the ocean, for example. The illustrations are gorgeous. This is probably my favorite page with the whales. Those of you who know me know I'm a huge fan of blue whales. So the companion read for this is a book called Moby Duck, which is a book for adults, nonfiction, about the exact same incident, the 28,000 ducks that got loose in the ocean. The reason I requested this book, Ducks Overboard, I don't even think I said the title, Ducks Overboard by Marcus Modem, is that I had read Moby Duck. And when I saw this in the Candlewick catalog, I thought, oh, I'd love to see a children's treatment of this and how it was. And I was really, really happy. This is just, it's a great it's got such a strong sub story, and I really like that. I love the idea that kids and parents could be reading about the same kind of book. And so I think this one is a really fun one. So if you'd like to read a book and have your children read a book and you guys talk about it together, Ducks Overboard, strong recommendation. One of the things I love teaching my actual students is collective names of animals. So like a murder of crows or a tower of giraffes. And so this book, Wombat, had me sold because it helped me learn that a group of wombats is called a colony or a wisdom. And I just love that. So this book is written by Christopher Cheng and illustrated by Elizabeth Duthie. They're both Australian. And it's about one of my very favorite Australian animals, the wombat. Now, the wombat is a fascinating animal. I have touched one and at an animal park in Australia, and I just love wombats. One thing that's super cool about wombats is they have this super hard butt, And in the book, it actually talks about that. So the illustrations by Liz Duthie are absolutely gorgeous. They are probably, I think, like, I love illustrations in picture books, but I feel like this style, this kind of realistic watercolor style, is perhaps my favorite. And somehow Liz Duthie has done something that I think is difficult to do, which is that she's made an animal that lives in the dirt. So the dirt is brown and the animal itself is brown, still has a wonderful, like, there's still vibrancy in color, and it isn't boring at all. So this Wombat book is terrific. At the back, there's more information and a lot of vocabulary. So all here, this is all like scientific vocabulary related to the wombat, which I thought was just really, really amazing. So I know, okay, I see Teacher Likes Books says, I had a GT student tell me this week, a collection noun for ferret is called a business. Yes, kids love those collective nouns. And so wombat, colony, or wisdom, although they don't hang out very often with other wombats. Let me show you one thing in here I really loved about the wombat butt. All right, nothing like a wombat butt. So a dingo is one of the few predators of a wombat. And when a wombat goes down into its burrow, it will turn its backside to the out, and it can actually, because its bottom is so bony, it can actually crush a predator's skull between its bottom and the burrow entrance, which I thought was fabulous. The other thing that was super cool to learn is that wombats' pouches face backwards. So like if you're behind a wombat, you can see the little baby wombat in the pouch backwards. And they do that because they dig, and it's to protect them from dirt. I just thought that was so clever. Anyway, just really 2 thumbs up to Christopher Chang and Liz Duthie for this great book, Wombat. All right, last book of the day. To me, this book can only be called an achievement. This book is a treasure. So it is called Tiger, Tiger, Burning Bright. Look how thick it is. This book is an animal poem for each day of the year, and it was selected by Fiona Waters and illustrated by Britta Teckentrup. And the illustrations are very Eric Carle-like, you will see. How this book is laid out is that there is a poem for every day of the year. And so in the month, so I'm in April right now, let me get to May so I can show you what it looks like when it changes. So for every month, it will list, like it'll have a 2-page spread, and it will list all the poems for that month. And then you turn the page and you start reading the poems. And there are all kinds of animals. They are absolutely amazing. In the back of the book, you can do a search by the animal or the first line. The poems are done by authors. Some are famous and others, the poem is anonymous. I just hats off to her, Fiona Waters, for collecting all of these. I don't know how she did it, but this is just an absolute treasure. I was captivated by this. I really do think, like, how do you find all of these? And then just so many poems and so many animals, and the style of the poems, everything from free form to haiku and everything in between. Just absolutely fabulous. And again, so thick, so many different styles. If you teach poetry to students, like, this would be something wonderful to have. The shark, it's like about the teeth of sharks, like a poem about the teeth of sharks. I cannot think of anyone who would not love this book. So Tiger, Tiger, Burning Bright, a true achievement. The most expensive of all the books I'm reviewing, but I think you can see why. All this color, super thick, hundreds of pages. And it has a very strong binding, a reinforced trade binding. So highly recommend, highly recommend. So today, every single book was a winner. We had Tiger, Tiger, Burning Bright, this book of animal poems. just absolutely astonishingly gorgeous. We had Wombat by Christopher Chang and Liz Duthie. Really good. So I love these nonfiction texts for kids. So if you teach, if you have kids who like that nonfiction, that's a good one. And I love that one because Wombat is a book in there for like Wombat is good because it's not a common animal is what I was going to say. Okay, let me look. The question is the poem. Look, my whole desk just shakes when I put this book down. Let me look. She asks, is the poem Tiger in here? Let me see. I don't see it by index of first line. Let me see. The Tiger. There is one. Let me see if it's that. Let me see if it's that poem. Let's see the answer, and the answer is yes, it is in here. It's in here. It's on page 39. Here's the illustration. Here's the illustration. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Would it be appropriate for middle grades and high school? This book? Yes, I think so. I definitely think so. Look, I'm jarring my desk again because it's so heavy. Yeah, I think so. I would definitely have this in my high school classroom. I know my kids would look at it. What I love is it's authors from all over the world, Asia, Africa, all over. They even have like it's just such a range. I mean, Ogden Nash, Jane Yolen. They even have a disclaimer in the beginning of how they got permission from Aboriginal Culture Center to reprint an Aboriginal poem. So it's just from all over a poem by an Aboriginal person. So beautiful, so beautiful. Okay, so Tiger, Tiger, Burning Bright, Wombat, and then Ducks Overboard, again with a companion read of Moby Duck. So highly recommend this one as well. Great nonfiction. I just love nonfiction books for kids. Just absolutely love them. And what I love is when they combine that nonfiction with those gorgeous illustrations. Next, Interrupting Chicken Cookies for Breakfast. Frankly, I'm a bigger fan of cake for breakfast than cookies for breakfast, and not pancakes, but like straight up cake. But this book is fabulous, and I recommend the whole series of Interrupting Chicken. And then the last one, Prehistoric Pets. I did this one first, Prehistoric Pets. So if you weren't here in the beginning, let me show these incredible pop-ups of how like animals that became our pets and what they evolved from. The science is fantastic. The illustrations are great. The pop-ups are just incredible. So Prehistoric Pets. So seriously, 5 thumbs up today. Really great. Now, tomorrow night, I'm doing another live stream, 7 o'clock, and that is differentiation office hours. So I'm not going to be recommending books. I'm going to be talking differentiation and gifted ed. So feel free to join in. Well, you know what? Kelly, you just made my day. So thank you so much. And I just want to give a shout out to Teacher Loves Books for joining in every single day so far this week. And I want to say 2 things about what's upcoming. On Friday, well, first of all, if you haven't seen the other ones, you can go back and watch the last 2 episodes. And I'm going to continue this series. So I launched it this week, this series of Books for Bright Kids. And I'm going to be doing these sometimes. Publishers send me books to review. And so I love to share them with you. The second thing is tomorrow night, differentiation office hours, join in, connect with fellow educators. We'll be talking about differentiation. But on Friday, special opportunity, on Friday at noon Central Time, I'm going to be talking about another set of books, the last set of books, and I'm going to be talking about them, but teachers are welcome to join in. And you're welcome to share the comments that your kids have. If your students are 13 or over and they have their own account, you can let them comment as well. But I'm going to pick one of the teachers in the chat, and I'm going to select some of the books that I reviewed, and I'm going to send them to one of the participants who's in the chat on Friday. So hopefully you'll be able to join me for that as well. And if you're not available for the live streams, the recordings are obviously also available. And the links to the individual books are in the description box, or you can go straight to the Candlewick website. So I hope you enjoyed these titles. I'll tell you what, they're all so good. But to me, I know as a kid, this, I would have spent hours with this. Truly an achievement. That, and then Wombat, gotta love it. So anyway, have a great night, you guys, and I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. And then hopefully Friday. I'm really looking forward to that. I will see you then.